Alright, good morning, everyone. Let's go ahead and jump right into this. Alright, 3, 2, 1, go. So, good morning, everyone. I'm JTB, and we're going to be doing a glitchless 80% run of Shantae, Half-Genie Hero. This is the newest Shantae game. Just came out a couple months ago after 3 or 4 years in Kickstarter. So if you haven't played it, you actually don't even need to worry about anything because we're going to be skipping all the lore in the game. Category that we're doing is glitchless 80%. So we're just going to be running through the game like you normally would, not doing any of the glitches in it. Main difference between this and a glitch category is some out of bounds that you can do to grab some key items early. And it's only a little bit slower for a glitch, so it's still a pretty short run. So for those of you who never played a Shantae game before, it's an action platformer. A lot of the previous games are Metroidvanias, this one not so much. A lot of the game revolves around the dances that she acquires, which lends like Shantae different movement options. And you'll see a lot of that throughout the run. So shout outs also to doing a very early morning run and me not exactly knowing where to go. I think that'll clear up though pretty fast. So a lot of this, the glitch, or the 80% run revolves around your gem count, because you need to be able to buy certain items from this guy right here later on in the game. And early game's pretty strict, so I'm actually gonna come out here and grab some extra gems I would never usually do in an actual run. But I have like a certain gem count I'm gonna be looking at after each level. See exactly where I'm at, if I need to pick up extra gems or not. You acquire gems by destroying those jars that you see, as well as enemies. So it's not too random. It's a little bit of variance in how many gems you can get, but I'm gonna be a little bit safe. So the game is divided up into the different worlds that you unlock through progressing through the game. Here we are going to the first world, which is the main street of Scuttletown, which is the pretty much the location where all the protagonists live. So like I said, a lot of this game is about movement. Doing kind of a precise jump there past those cannonballs. I don't know exactly what they are. To get knocked to the other side. If you don't do it right, you get knocked right back to where you jump from. So it's kind of precise. Also, just like Job said, huge shout out to this soundtrack. It's pretty incredible. So early game, we have to break these pots manually. And to reduce the amount of time that is spent, or the amount of lag after whipping, which is, by the way, Shantae's main attack, I jump immediately afterwards, so that way I can continue to move. Later on it won't be as big of an issue because we get an item that we just activate right as we run over stuff. But at least for the first level. Actually, my gem count is very high right now. It's about 20 over what it needs to be. So each world is also divided up into different levels. First level being the only level that plays that really great song. And then we're moving to like the interior of Main Street right here, which is all on fire. It stays on fire throughout the whole game. A lot of these levels you're just gonna see me just run straight through, but later on we'll be returning to them once we have different abilities. So it's not like your normal, like a Mario game that just you're gonna run through and be one and done. There's a lot of hidden stuff that you can only get by certain abilities and dances you get later on. So you return to each level about 2 to 3 times throughout the course of the run. Alright, that's the first part. That's the first world. And then there's a boss at the end of each world as well. Fortunately, you don't have to fight those multiple times, just once. So, kill this boss, we have to ring that bell 3 times to have a flaming barrel get queued up for Shantae, and then you just whip it at him. Pretty simple boss, they keep it pretty easy for the first part of the game. This boss isn't really going to differ at all across different categories. Nice, we did it, guys. So yeah, first boss, definitely the easiest boss in this run. Especially, yeah, like I said, you don't have any items or anything, so you really can't lose time or anything like that. Unless you miss like a jump or something. And then one more thing, at the end of each world, you also do get a new dance, which you'll see just a second. So at the end of each world you get teleported to this genie realm, which you get a new dance that pretty much unlocks new movement abilities. So for Monkey, which is the one you're going to see pretty much the whole entire game, Shantae's movement speed increases, you jump a lot higher, and you can jump on walls, which we abuse quite a lot throughout this run. So after each world, there's a short like mini quest in which you have to find a map in order to unlock the next world. This one's pretty simple. Just talk to this girl. Hey, what's up? Oh, thank you. And then we're able to go to the next world. But for that, buy our first of many items. So I just picked up Super Bike Ball, which for anyone who's played this game definitely knows what that is. Essentially, it's like a revolving circle of pikes. Are they pike balls? I don't know. Pretty much, it's a revolving circle projectile that does damage and instantly breaks pots. So, like I said, there's a lot of backtracking to pick up items you're not able to get the first time through. And you're gonna see that here. So first world, there's nothing in here that we need. Or first level, there's nothing in here that we need, so we need to run through to the second area, the burning part of the city. But with the monkey, we're allowed to skip some of the, or make some of the platforming a lot easier. So you just saw one good advantage, one big advantage of having Super Bike Ball is I can just jump into these spots, activate it, and then I don't need to worry about spending time to whip it. I just quickly break it and then keep them running. And also, each world changes slightly. Maybe with like enemies, certain like things that show up, just to keep it interesting. It wouldn't really make sense if Risky Boots was attacking again after we defeated her. And this is when movement gets a little bit more interesting. So I'm on a strict timer right there to get to those platforms before they disappear, and I can use them as a means to get up quicker. So this is an area we weren't able to access earlier, but now that we have the monkey, we're able to jump off the wall and get to it. So this is Monkey Bullet, and this is lets you do that. So you do like a dash from a wall. And I missed all those gems right there, so I'm actually gonna go back and grab that. But that's probably the most important ability in this game. It's faster than running, so a lot of the optimization and movement involves knowing where you can use Monkey Bullet, even on the smallest of walls, and then use that to go fast. So this is also another event that wasn't in our first playthrough. We're killing 30 enemies there to pick up this key item, to which we actually haven't even talked to the person that needs it yet, but since we know she needs it, then oh my goodness, I don't know what's going on underneath there. So we have the key item, and then with the monkey we're able to access this tiny little hole to pick up a heart container. Now we got 3 hearts instead of 2. It's kind of important to have 3 heart containers because the last boss has a ability that does 2 heart containers worth of damage. So if you have 3, then you have a little bit of a buffer too, then get hit once and you're dead. So we got everything we need there. It's a key item that we're going to use later on. And we have another item that's given to you at the start that lets you just exit the area whenever you like. Pretty nifty. And then we're moving on to Mermaid Falls, which is the second world in this. This one movement gets a little bit more interesting now that we have a monkey bullet. I'm trying to avoid taking any damage here. I'm doing a pretty good job of it so far. Oh my goodness. So obviously I don't want to touch the water there because I get thrown out of my transformation. Obviously I want to beat that cycle too, which I didn't. So a lot of these platforms are on a global timer, so it does require you to get to them as quickly as possible or within a certain window in order to keep doing the most optimal movement. You're kind of getting to see a lot of what the movement is like in this game, like finding places to do that monkey bullet off. So normally to get to this area, you're pretty much just climbing all those, or using those lifts, rings thing, to get to the top, but we're not about that life. So we're just gonna keep finding our own path. And take note of that little jar right there. Jar is actually another merchant, like there's the one in town. We're not gonna buy anything from her throughout this run, but for like glitch runs or out of bounds runs, she has a dance that you need in order to do out of bounds stuff. So this is the first of 3 auto scrollers in the game. Fortunately, there's no way to skip it, speed it up, or just do whatever. The only thing I'm concerned with right now is grabbing those oranges, as you can see, because they restore your health by 1 heart. And they're actually kind of useful for early game when we don't buy any potions and just takes small damage. So I'm actually looking at my health. I'm actually really good on health. If I was at like 1 heart or so, I would be a little bit worried and probably use an orange because we are guaranteed to take some damage from the next boss. But 2.5 hearts gonna be good. And obviously you lose time, like having to go into the menu and use it real quick, even though it's a small amount of time. So everything in here is scripted too. I know exactly when those enemies are going to come out, where all the oranges are, where all the gems are. Fortunately, we're done. Alright, here we are coming up on the second boss of the game. It's the boss that, if you ever watched me play RE4, I like to compare her to Delago, because she has pretty random patterns. So first part of the fight, we're destroying these locks that are free. Using the pike ball, you can see just how useful the pike ball is there by doing just free extra damage. So we broke one side. Actually, it was a little bit slow on that, unfortunately. You should be able to make that cycle to get that platform. Okay, and then once we destroy all these locks, we're going to go to the second phase. So this phase is pretty standard. The second phase is where it gets a little bit random. You lose quite a lot amount of time. So this phase we're trying to hit that thing on her head. Unfortunately, you can't hit it until she dies once. And actually, here's the best pattern you can get. I'll talk a little bit about that as soon as I finish it. All right, it's probably the fastest GIGA mermaid that you can kill, or that you can get. So what can happen is you can see her dive randomly, aka Delago, and just take up time that you can't damage her. Those platforms sometimes don't come up, and you're losing a lot of damage before she puts her head down. And then the third option is doing what she did there. So that's the kind of stuff I want to see. So glad I was able to show that, at least in a run. You're right. Well, we never see the underside of Delago, so who knows? Maybe Delago's sporting a nice rack that we just never see through the game. So hey, Sleepwalker. So we just picked up our second dance, which is the crab dance. Essentially, it lets us go underwater. You probably noticed that in Mermaid Falls, when we hit the water, we just float and go to the top. But with crab dance, we actually go underwater. So here we are doing the map quest for the next area, just doing some item exchanges. Fortunately, these don't take very long to do, so it doesn't really detract from the game. Also, shout out to my cats in the background, absolutely flipping out for no reason. Alright, so we're gonna buy Fireball and Warp Dance. Fireballs are our second magic ability. Just shoot Fireball, just like that. Pretty straightforward. Second one is a Warp Dance, which is very, very much needed for this run. So Warp Dance lets you skip through areas that you've previously cleared. So we don't need to run through like a whole area if we're trying to get to the second one. So like, to give an example, the second time we went to Main Street, if we had Warp Dance, we could have ran through. We could have just used that to skip that first part of the world and go right to the Burning Town, saving quite an amount of time. Alright, so now that we have everything, we're going to go straight to Tassel Town, which is your pretty standard desert level. And we're not actually going to use Crab Dance just yet. Actually, no, never mind, I lied. This is actually my first time playing the game. Hope you're all enjoying my Let's Play. Alright, so pretty normal, just running straight through. Kind of bad. Oh, that's actually really good luck right there. So that enemy has a pretty low chance to drop a monster egg, the flying bird enemy. In itself, it's not it's not remarkable at all. It's oh crap. It's not remarkable at all. It just heals you a bit. But you can exchange it for a heart container to someone, to which normally we're going to be doing that a lot later in the run. So if we can get it early on, that'll be pretty nice. Fortunately, not getting out of the water there kind of made me mess up these wind cycles. too big of a deal. I should be at the end of the screen right now, but as long as I get right here, it's perfectly fine. Yeah, alright, cool. So desert cycles are a little bit tricky, or the wind cycles, because if you miss them, you pretty much get blown back a very far distance. So luckily I didn't really lose any time there. Yeah, we tried adding my emotes, but it wasn't working, unfortunately. So no more bags for you guys. So here we got like a chase sequence from the boss in this world. Unfortunately, we go so much faster than him that we're just trying to get through we're racing against ourselves now. See if I can beat this. Oh man. If you're quick enough, I've never actually been able to do it myself. I've only seen it done once myself. You can get there fast enough to beat those fireballs, so that way you don't have to wait for them. So shoutouts to this game's movement. I mean, it's very fluid and it's a lot of fun. Actually, the reason why I picked up this game. Here we are coming up on Skybridge, which is one of the more difficult areas in the game, because now you can see on the bottom there's a pit. So if we fall at all, then we're getting sent back. So I'm going to be using some pretty precise movement here to get through without falling. So if my timing is right, I should be able to get past this. Alright, cool. So getting that cycle right there is, play it safe actually. Getting that cycle there to get past that pit is really strict. You can't really stop at all, otherwise you're just gonna fall in. So I'm pretty fortunate to get that. So this is an area that you'll see runs die on a lot, because if you mess up any of these platforms then and fall down, you just get sent right back to the beginning of the area. Alright, cool. We're not going to see that today. Also, Shantae, just like pretty much a lot of games, has invincibility frames. When you get hit, it lets us run through stuff that would either cause more damage or it's just in our way. We abuse it a lot coming up in the second or the next world. But I saw kind of a preview of that. So pretty good Skybridge. We're coming up on our third boss, giant worm dude, or WILBUR. This is one of the longer bosses in the game, just because it's all scripted events. So first part of this boss is waiting on this fireball to, I don't know what it is, fire boulder to come down, and then hitting it to the side into these cannons to knock his eye out of his socket. As soon as it comes down, we're just looking to hit it enough times that it goes back. And we use Fireball here to kind of reduce the distance that it needs to travel, so we can quickly get out of this. So this fight is actually a really good example of a difference, the differences between console version and PC version. For whatever reason, console just has, I don't know, like a different patch or whatever. But for this fight, you're able to use your invincibility frames to hit the eyeball multiple times at once, instead of having to hit it only once at a time. So it reduces that eyeball phase to like only a few seconds instead of having to hit it over and over. Why that occurs, no idea, but it is a thing. There's a slightly faster shot right now, which hasn't been done in, I believe, anyone's run just yet. Using the Storm Puff magic, which creates a cloud that just spews lightning nonstop. I have not yet routed it to my run. so I'm not sure exactly how. That's why I didn't do it tonight. But this is the second fastest strat. Alright, we got some pretty good luck with the boulder placement. Sometimes it'll just land on the complete opposite side of Shantae. So you lose a lot of time due to RNG just because of that. Alright, cool. Now we just gotta launch the boulder one more time. I think I have a little bit of magic left. Please tell me I got one more. Yeah. It's exactly where I should be. Either have 1 use or 0 uses left for my magic. Alright, cool. And that's WILBUR. Pretty boring boss, in my opinion. But just gotta get through it. So fortunately we don't need to go to the sky bridge ever again in this run. So we don't need any difficult platforming areas, or need to repeat any difficult platforming areas. Alright, and here we're getting our third dance, which is the elephant dance. So the dances we got so far are all ones that have been kind of seen throughout the Shantae games. So you have like your standard dances, and then after this we begin to get more like new dances that kind of shakes up the gameplay a bit. Alright, so now we're actually gonna go. I'm actually gonna do this. So this is the person who did that monster egg that dropped to get this extra heart holder. Normally you wouldn't do this so much later in the run, but RNG is smiling upon us today. So now we're going to go straight back to Tasseltown. And it's changed a bit now. There's no windstorms anymore, although we're not even going to be in that area. And this is when we get to see that that warp dance being used. So now we go straight to the tower. So it saves a lot of time. And if we really wanted to, we can go to the Skybridge area again. But we gotta be here right now. So this guy wants to get like 5 bones from the area, from this area. I missed all these gems for some reason. And now that we have Elephant, we can smash through these things that were previously shooting fire at us. And then what he gave us was a ground pound item, as you saw right there, to hit those flowers so we can get his item that he wants. So that's why I said like this game begins to, it has a lot of secret areas that you don't see until you unlock the appropriate dance or item. So it adds a little bit of just replayability to the game. This is probably the longest set of areas you have to go through to get items for the next world, but still kind of interesting. So my gem count's actually really good as well. Pretty happy with it so far. A lot of the movement though, you can see is almost exactly the same. So it's not like you have to constantly relearn areas if you have to go back to it. Only one more after this. And then we also buy begin to start putting our in-game items. after we go back to the main area. I'm gonna wait a second here. So those snakes dropping out of there right there, if you get hit by it while you're dashing, it stops the dash, you just fall all the way down to the bottom. Done it so many times, it's pretty embarrassing. Alright, we got sick. Good job, guys. So that's all we need from here. And then we're going to do the second part of our... So that item right there is something we'll use for a future map quest. And now we're going to pick up an item for the current one. So just like the last area, we're going to go right to the factory portion of this. So the goal here is we're going to be killing these crocodile enemies with Fireball in order to get them to drop some stakes for us. So shout outs to murdering, you know, just some guy that just came in for his day job just to turn him into food. So we have to kill 2 of those in order to for the map quest. I'll do the second one later on. So you see, there's like kind of like new enemies. Those bats. Oh my god, what am I doing? Those bats aren't there before. Don't really pose much of a threat to us, but nonetheless, something to consider. And then this is something that you wouldn't see your first time going through until you get the elephant and the monkey. So this lady just gave us crabs. Crab claw, I mean, not crabs. It's way different. So now we get to actually see crab being used. And now we're done with it. So what Crab Claw gives us is, gives a crab a pincer attack that lets you break through, well, damage enemies and also break through these like kelp things. What we're doing right now is we have to find her grandchildren, which are spread throughout this level. So we got our 2 gator steaks. And then we're gonna finish up grabbing these crabs, or blobfish, I guess, not crabs. I'm actually so when you see me attacking right there, it's kind of a little neat trick. I'm spamming both jump and attack. If you just attack while you're standing still, then there's a little bit of lag after you do it before you can move. But if you jump and attack, there's no lag at all, so you can just get through really fast. Alright, and then we're gonna get a race ticket, which obviously, since we're skipping all the lore in this game, probably have no idea what that is. But we got our key items, so we're gonna go back to the central hub. And we're gonna do a whole bunch of item exchanging. So we're gonna give these 2 the gator steaks, and then give us another race ticket. And we're gonna talk to another pretty featured character in this game, Body Tops. For those that have played Shantae before, you probably instantly recognized her. She's gonna give us another key item to give to our uncle. Before we do that, we're gonna buy a whole bunch of items. Yeah, I don't know, kind of like was sneaking there. So I'll talk about those items in a bit after we do our exchange. Lore down this game. So Shantae, actually, this is a good time to talk about lore. Let me get to it. Show it in this next area. Alright, now we're going to Cape Kushoshin, where we really begin to see Shantae's true nature and what we're really trying to accomplish in this game. So Shantae is actually like a bloodthirsty psychopath. And, you know, Risky Boots was like, hey, you suck at racing. So Shantae does all this stuff to get into this race. To which she promptly, instead of actually racing like all these normal other people, we just decide to murder every single one of them. You know, I mean, that guy right there, it's just a fish in a bowl. But Shantae's like, dude, screw that guy. I want to win this race. And these guys are probably like trying to support their families. And I mean, look, the fish is even holding a bunny. But Shantae's like, heck no. Get the hell out of my way. So we proceed to systematically just murder every single one of these race participants. Run-wise though, I got some magic drops. So I do want to be at full magic for the upcoming boss fight. So murder all these guys. Sorry dude, I know you have a family at home, but I really gotta win this race. Like this guy? Get out of here. Yeah, it's completely auto-scroller till we get to the boss. So here's the police coming after us saying, hey, you can't just murder these people. Like, you're cheating, dude. So we're gonna just, you know, just destroy their shit. Nice. So police taken care of. It was like GTA. Shantae. So now, after we take out some cops, now the army begins to come in. Like, we're literally at 5 stars right now in Shantae. So these guys actually want to dodge because they do a full heart container of damage, and this area is a little bit strict on what my damage needs to be at, because I need to do a lot of just take free damage in order to skip through certain obstacles. So those lasers right there, if you touch them, you instantly get vaporized and get sent all the way back to the start of the level. So it's a little bit stressful. So I need to wait for this. I'll wait to use this potion. So if you jump too early, you just fall right through and get sent all the way back to the level. So you kind of see a recurring theme with getting sent back to the start of the level of areas that don't have floors. Alright, so we got past the cop cars. I'm gonna run through this, use a potion. Now we're really gonna, you know, take it to them right now. So right now we're inside. Now we can begin to really take out the army. Go ahead and hit that twice to be safe. You can usually hit this once to jump, but it's a really precise jump. So I'd rather not try to risk it. So now they're really sending everyone they have at us. Dang, go ahead. I mean, Shantae really tries to downplay the whole murder aspect with her transformation. It's like, hey, you know, they got this cute little monkey. What's the monkey gonna do? What the monkey's gonna do is just completely ruin your life. You know, they set up these blockades too to stop her, but it's just like, nah, bro. turn into an elephant. I mean, do you really want to mess with someone that can turn into an elephant and a monkey? It's a pretty scary dude, in my opinion. So that's kind of glad I have health right there. So that guy is gonna hit you if you turn into the elephant and hit that. If you don't have the health, then you have to kill him. So it's a little bit of a time save. All right, so now we took out like the power generator for the entire army, and they're gonna have like a last ditch effort to take us out. And they can fly too. They're like, dude, we can kill Shantae. She can fly and she can't. Shantae doesn't care. She can summon swords. So scimitar, very useful item. Well, it makes pretty much use it non-stop throughout this run. So it's not enough that we're actually fighting these guys. We also have to take their clothes. As you can see when they... just a second. Alright, so we've successfully destroyed all resistance against Shantae. So now we're going to steal their clothes and everything, sell them for profit. And then we're going to get out before anyone else comes up. See, everyone else in the background is super happy too. They're all cheering on Shantae. Like, what's wrong with you people? Is that one guy in the corner with both hands up? It's like big old smile on his face. Like, damn, I just saw a genocide happen. Alright, so back to the game though. Now we have our mouse dance, which we're only going to use once after this area. It lets us get into these tiny maze-like areas. This is one of the new dances, I believe, that was added to this over the other Shantae games. True. Definitely adds a lot of entertainment value to the race. Alright, so now we're going to give away our sick. And for all we know, that was the reason why Shantae kind of went to a murderous rampage. So we're going to give it to this doctor instead and get out. Alright, so now back to map quest. We're going to go to Mermaid Falls. Now that we have that lollipop, which is the only thing that and the mouse, we can talk to another NPC in here that we couldn't previously access in the first area. Get through that. And normally this is where you would pick up that monster egg. So this Lamia right here has an 80% chance to drop monster eggs. And there's a lot that show up throughout this area. So we would grind them until one dropped. Alright, and then we're gonna enter a part of the area, part of the game you would never expect it to enter if you didn't know about the mouse dance beforehand. I thought actually this is pretty incredible, just adding something like this. Like you're constantly seeing it throughout the game, but you never know, just like, hey, it's actually this whole another section to navigate. So shout out to WayForward for doing something like that. Pretty good game design in my opinion. Like, no sarcasm, I was really excited to see this. And we're gonna get through here, talk to him, and give him lollipop and get another key item to give to our uncle. So that's all it's the only item we need from here. Since we're here and we have elephant, we're gonna grab our second to last dance, I guess. So now we have our mermaid dance, which is another underwater dance. Actually, I don't need to use it right here though. Surprise, surprise, another underwater thing. But now that we have that, we can go to Main Street for the last time and get another key item. So lots of backtracking, like I said. Fortunately, there's a character actually in the town area that gives you hints on where you need to go, so it's not like you're just having to go through every single area, like hoping that there's something new that you find. So I really don't want to touch those starfish just because they grab onto you and restrict your movement a lot. Unfortunately, we're not seeing that right now. Alright, and then we're going to switch to the mermaid. So mermaid actually gives us free movement through water instead of the crab that was just, you know, float to the bottom. And you'll see quite a lot of mermaid coming up too. Alright, now we have everything to go to the final area, or the second to last area. So first off, like before, go talk to our in-game uncle. And get the map to spooky area. So normally right here, I would actually be, so this is where I would be giving that monster egg to get full health, get the extra heart container. Since I did it earlier, I'm not going to be at full health throughout this, so I may have to use my oranges as well as that extra potion I have. And just as a reminder, the potion restores your health completely. And the oranges give only 1 heart container. So, pretty useful item. Kind of slow movement there. So this is like a maze-like area, kind of. These openings bring you to different parts of the castle. So normally you need to explore them to figure out where exactly you need to go. So this area is very simple, especially when you hit blocks that you shouldn't be hitting. But this next area is probably one of the most stressful areas in the game. So we have another bottomless pit area in which we have to traverse using these platforms that go whatever direction you jump on. So you see I'm already screwing up. So what I wanted to do was jump to the side of the platform while it's moving and then bounce off it. It's very hard because this is different than just jumping off other platforms. So for walls, normally you could just jump off and immediately press left in order to cling onto it and do the monkey bullet. Oh, good lord, dude. Alright, I'm just gonna wait. But for these platforms, it has a little bit of a different timing that can make you easily just fall off and have to restart the whole level. And just as with all the other parts of the game, everything here is on a global timer too. So it's a very precise timer, or precise window to get through a lot of these parts with the most optimal movement. This is an area that it has the most potential to lose a lot of time, and unfortunately it's almost at the end of the game. So once I get through this area, dang it. So there's a glitch in this game that for whatever reason it throws you all the way back to the start instead of, oh, is it really gonna do this to me? Alright, thanks WayForward. So what should have happened is I should have got moved back to the screen transition instead of the very start of the game, or start of the area. Dude. But I guess it's not about that life. Usually you can just kill yourself once, or just jump in the pit once, and it'll put you where you should be. But the game's just not doing that right now for me. And that's not an issue on console for whatever reason, so there's supposed to be a patch coming up that hopefully fixes that, because that's infuriating to have to go through all this again. Especially for how stressful it is. Yeah, I'm definitely have to use a potion. So I should have respawned right here instead of all the way at the start. Dang, this is bad actually. Oh well, let's do it. Risky strats. Yeah, boy. I have to wait for this one. Alright, cool. Alright, we're home free. So, pretty difficult area. This is one of the hardest movement areas in the game. But we're through it. So, once I'm through this area, like, huge relief washes over me. Especially if you're ahead on time and you approach that area. Like how much time am I gonna lose? Okay, I'm gonna use a potion here. So this, for those who played this game before, obviously you should be recognizing Squid Baron. Very recurring boss throughout all the games. Kind of like a comedic boss. This is a two-part fight though. We got first we fight him, and then we fight both of them together. Pretty easy fight. It's just a lot of spamming damage with scimitar. So we want to kill Squid Baron first before we kill Hypno Baron, which is the guy on top, by the way. Because if we kill Hypno Baron first, then Squid Baron does this like really intense movement that makes it really hard to do any damage to him. Fortunately, the game presents itself that you should be killing Squid Baron first, which is the way that Hypno Baron moves around the screen. Alright, and then he begins to move a little bit faster. Don't care about getting hit here. So he has a lot less damage, a lot less health than Squid Baron though. So pretty decent fight. Really though, a lot of times you're not going to be at full health like I was, so it could be a little bit more risky. But this is the marathon. I don't know about that. Do safe strats. Alright, so this is the final like traditional area in which like you have to go through it multiple times to find all the items, as well as the last dance that we're gonna get. So this is the point where WayForward's like, you know what else can we add to this game that we haven't thought of before? I guess some guy was playing Flappy Bird at the time. Oh heck yes, Merkabag is in chat now. So someone at WayForward just happened to be playing Flappy Bird at the time. It's like, hey, let's make a dance that you could do Flappy Bird in. So that's exactly what they did. You're not gonna see it right now just yet, but the last area we use it quite a lot. Alright, so last purchases, we're just gonna buy a whole bunch of mega potions. I probably could have bought like more damage instead. But here we go. Got the Foxy Grandma hat. I don't know about you guys, but definitely a pretty foxy grandma in my opinion. 10 out of 10. So what we got there, the resort getting the sword and getting that hat, and then giving the hat away. We get projectile attack for the mermaid. If I remember where to go. Okay, Town. So that lets us destroy blocks underwater. Normally you would be seeing those blocks in a casual playthrough, wondering like how to get through, but you don't actually get the ability to do so until the very end. So we just switched to the harpy here. So this is our Flappy Bird dance. You can kind of see the way that you move with it, just to quickly get through this area. So this pit right here, this is important because in an out of bounds run, you would actually do a glitch to drop through that sand and get to this area right here without ever having to need the mermaid. So you can actually grab this item really early on in a glitch run. That's all we need here. And then our last backtracking. So now the whole area is lit up. Just one of the small changes after you go back. And then we're actually going to go to a completely different area now. Well, different part of this area. Now that we can fly. And go to the rooftops. Talk to... Oh, I don't remember his name. Abner. Regardless, he gives us the last key item we need. And that concludes our backtracking. So I'm going to get these final items here, and then we'll get the map to the final area. Is it Poe? Okay, I forget. Dude, nice emote. Yeah, so this actually, the music in this game is incredible if you couldn't tell already. Definitely a very good way to keep someone motivated when you're doing runs. So here we got like a pretty lengthy auto-scroller section. Kind of like a shoot 'em up. So if you have to go like use the restroom or anything, best time to do it right now. So this is a huge difference than glitched run. So in glitched 20%, you don't even grab the mermaid at all because all the areas that we needed to access using the mermaid to get key items were able to get out of bounds. So when you get here, you're like, okay, I have to be in mermaid to do this part. Well, you do another out of bounds in that little section right before this to run it to get into that sewer grate. And the game's like, hey, you don't have a mermaid. You can't do this. So it just throws you right into the next area, which saves like 3 to 4 minutes or so. So kind of, that's probably the most notable difference between glitch and glitchless. I feel like glitchless though is a very good foundation for all the other runs because you learn a lot of very important movement that is repeated in every single run. So if anyone is wanting to learn the game, glitchless is the way to go, at least for the start. Like I said, the game's still fairly new. Just was released in December. There's a patch coming up soon. We don't know what's gonna get really changed in it, if anything. So that might change up the route a bit, or maybe even fix the out of bounds that we could do previously. Not gonna lie, I would like to be at full health. I won't complain if I'm not at full health. I have plenty of potions. I should only use like 2 or 3 of those potions out of 6. Dang, these guys are ruthless. Okay, this is good. Alright, now we're at the end. So, sudden change from a very easy area to a very difficult area. So this game likes to throw stuff at you that instantly kills you. This area being the lava and the spikes that you see there. So it's not as sorry, not as important now because spikes are pretty easy to dodge in this part. But in the next part it's pretty difficult. So here we got Flappy Bird. Alright, cool. So that corner, that little section right there, getting through that is very difficult because you're supposed to be using technically a different dance that we didn't obtain. So we have to kind of use whatever we have available to get through it. It's really easy to hit one of those spikes. I don't know what I'm doing. So that's the most stressful part of the first area in my opinion. Let's see as we get through this. Nice. Alright, and then we get to the second area. This is like this is one of the scariest parts of the game too, because you can lose a lot of time just hitting anything here, and we have to use Flappy Bird all the way throughout it almost. So what I'm trying to do here is make it through as fast as I can after this to hit a certain part before I don't know what I'm saying. I'm trying to get through this as fast as possible because there's a series of those pillar things. There's a certain pattern I need coming up. Okay, so I'm good right now. Alright, perfect. So that's what I wanted to get under that one before it came down in order to get through this as fast as possible. It's kind of difficult to do, but this is a pretty solid hideout area, not gonna lie. Alright, cool. So that's the end of your standard platforming. Now we got Risky Boots. So now we got our boss rush mode. Kill 3 bosses back to back. This is a pretty lengthy boss fight. She just has a ton of health. So it's, a lot of this fight is just knowing where she's going to move and staying with her in order to get as much damage out as possible. There's a certain part of the fight that I want to kill her before, which I don't know if I'm going to make it or not. We'll see what happens. Yo, sub hype. Nobody, thank you for the 23 months in a row. Or at least, I'm pretty sure that's what that voice would say. So after that, then her patterns reset until you kill her. So my goal is to kill her right about here. Nice. Okay, that's actually the first time I've killed her before she does her dash. And I've been trying to do that in practice a lot, so that's pretty cool. I got you, man. So with Risky dead, we go to the second fight. Fortunately, it restores all our magic, which we need throughout this part. This is a pretty scripted fight, in which you just have to keep keeping these things up by running along the platform. We're not actually damaging himself at all. So we do that twice, or 4 times, I guess. Important thing to note is that if you die in any of these fights, you get sent back to 4 risky boots, so adds a lot of tension in the next fight. So I'm gonna go ahead and start explaining the next fight just because I'm gonna have to really focus on it. So next fight, you're gonna have these floating balls that you need to use to attack Tinkerbrain. If you remember Metroid Prime, he's gonna have this wall that that keeps shifting, and cool, got it. Kind of like the first fight, Metroid Prime. Damn, missed it. So this fight's really, you can lose a ton of time because you obviously want to hit the ball through that little opening as soon as you can. If you can follow okay, got it. If you can follow like his head movement, you can find out exactly when you need to hit it, which I'm actually doing a really good job at. But if you miss it, then you have to wait. Dang it, like that. You have to wait for the genie to come up again and do it one more time. So I'm gonna go ahead and wait just to be safe. Plus, so these genies are throwing out these black waves, as you see. That's the reason why we get heart containers, because they do 2 full heart containers. Nice, this is actually the best I've ever done at this. Damn, I wish I could get this in my PBs. Damn, way too early there. But it's all about. It sucks that this is at the very end and you can lose a lot of time by messing that up. Dang, these waves are ruthless right now. Nice. So you do that 10 times, you kill the boss. So if you think that 3D boss really feels out of place, so after you do this boss rush mode, the game's like, you know what? You know, we really need to end this game on a high note. So let's throw you in another auto-scroller in which you can't die. Well, you can die, but you just get sent back to the beginning of the auto-scroller. So time's coming up soon. Once this game fades to white, then that's when timer can stop. But yeah, that's this is pretty much has been Shantae, glitchless 80%. Aside from the auto-scroller parts, there's a lot of interesting movement I think people would enjoy in a speedrun. If you are interested in learning this game, definitely plenty of resources out there. Got a couple discords, got a speedrun.com. Yo, shoutouts to missing all those gears. That's pro strat right there. There's actually an achievement for not hitting any of those gears. That's how hard it is. And then we got one last part. I'm gonna grab that. And time. Cool. So, hope you all enjoyed watching Shantae. Not sure what's coming up. 109.25? Alright, cool. That's 2 minutes off my PB and pretty good, aside from what happened in the graveyard area. I don't know if you're gonna let credits roll or if the next person's queued up. I'll just keep doing it. But thanks for watching, everyone, and hope you all enjoy day 2 of Valuethon.